From olive colored skin to chocolate brown, lipsticks and lip gloss should be color rich, long lasting, bold and luscious. Bold and Luscious Cosmetics. Find them at balcosmetics.com. Complete with vitamin E, lanolin, and antioxidants, Bold and Luscious gives you soft, moisturized lips all day. Reds, nudes, pinks, darks, bright. balcosmetics.com. balcosmetics.com.
What's up, world? It's your homegirl Ivy. Make sure you check out Just Blaze Organic Hemp Papers. They are a very fine, slow burning type of paper. For my 420 smokers that love to keep it organic, this is the product for you. The gum tip lining doesn't require much liquid to seal your joint and or cigarette, and their cones are, oh my god. Make sure you try them. That's all I have to say. Follow Just Blaze Organic and tell them KDK sent you.
Respect.
Yaga. Watch a millionaire, right?
It's your boy. Esa mami bonita.
You waiting to leave.
Esa mami me agita. Así que mami, bailalo, bailalo. Así que mami, muévelo, muévelo. Esa mami bonita.
You waiting to leave.
Esa mami me agita. Así que mami, bailalo, bailalo. Así que mami, muévelo, muévelo.
Yes, sir.
Respect.
Akikisha anajua dada umenishika mama, umenishika kinoma. Twende far away, Afrika, mimi nawe. Tukatembee wawili, enjoy my darling, my darling. I go up my street, my baby mama, passing a baby. Twende far away, Afrika, mimi nawe.
Esa mami bonita.
You waiting to leave.
Esa mami me agita.
Anavutia kwa kweli.
Así que mami, bailalo, bailalo. Así que mami, muévelo, muévelo. Esa mami bonita.
You waiting to leave.
Esa mami me agita.
Anavutia kwa kweli.
Así que mami, bailalo, bailalo. Así que mami, muévelo, muévelo. Respect. Rompe ese cuerpo, nos vamos pa' Puerto Mequillo de rico, jaleyo en la cama, alzo con flama, dale mi nena, muévelo, muévelo, no pare mi negra. Hay algo en ti, baby, que me pone así, lady, yeah. It's time about you, baby, got me the feeling this way, okay, yeah. Hay algo en ti, mami, que me pone así, lady, yeah.
I think about you ready. Come on, you free this way. Oh, easy swing, class music. Yeah. Skinny. Skin. Wanatikisa mama, wanatikisa. Wote wanatikisa. Wanatikisa mama, wanatikisa. Wote wanatikisa.
Levanta, baga tiquita. Levanta, baga tiquita. Levanta, baga tiquita. Respect.
Michael, producer, the world.
Tigri, Saraban Bibri, tú estás mal la vibra, déjate unos tibri, house blood shot, eso no como tiribiri, dime a ver que lo guá, que lo wigri. Tigri, Saraban Bibri, tú estás mal la vibra, déjate unos tibri, dime a ver mami que lo guá, que lo wigri. Tryna smash, yo no estoy en cotoribiri. Diggity, sarabam, baby, baby. Diggity, sarabam, baby, baby. Diggity, sarabam, baby, baby. Always on time con una nota alta. Diggity, sarabam, baby, baby. Diggity, sarabam, baby, baby. Diggity, sarabam, baby, baby. Always on time con una nota alta. Eyes low, estamos changing. If you wanna join my little Asian girl, sigue mi camino. She's calling me handsome, moreno fino. I can take you home o te llevo a tu destino. Hot. Started Netflix and chillin'. I'm shorty know the vibes. I'm Punani, I'm an end killing. I ain't a superhero or a villain, pero soy la cabra de lo alto de Manhattan. That's a given. Facts. It's not even a question. Riding through the X con una truza que yo mangué en Creston. Hold on, wait a second. Started off slow, sped it up, then I hit it with aggression. Some bullshit. Ya tú sabes que lo que, nigga, we out here, we outside, these motherfuckers fucking with us. The smoothest. Alright, nigga, we still made it happen, nigga. Niggas gotta go eat donuts, nigga, we chillin', nigga, we lit. It's not even a question, riding through the X con una trucha que yo mangué en Creston. Hold on, wait a second, I made the song, after that we started sexing, yup. Jiggity, sarabam, baby, tú estás mal la vibra, deja tu no tibiri. House bloodshot, eso no como tiribiri. Dime a ver que lo guá, que lo wiggity. Diggity, sarabam, baby, tú estás mala vibra, deja tu no tibiri. Dime a ver, mami, que lo guá, que lo wiggity. Tryna smash, yo no estoy en cotorribiri. Diggity, sarabam, baby, baby. Diggity, sarabam, baby, baby. Diggity, sarabam, baby, baby. Always on time, con una nota alta. Diggity, sarabam, baby, baby. Diggity, sarabam, baby, baby. Diggity, sarabam, baby, baby. Always on time, con una nota alta. Yup, jiggity, sarabam, baby. Ay, coño, los kibiri que yo mangué por ahí, biri. Camibiri, tú te pasibiri. Que los kibiri.
Para su filo, para su aparato. Tiene un sabor porque lo siento en el carro. Para su peneo, a donde yo te saco. Check un ritmo, pero quítate los datos. Para su filo, para su aparato. Tiene un sabor porque lo siento en el carro. Para su peneo, a donde yo te saco. Check un ritmo, pero quítate los datos. 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 Quítate los datos.
Before we head out to the car, I'ma get shots and make a talk. Casamigos up a Patron. Baby girl, cause I'm the boss. A Superman, a super sauce, and you a star. A superstar, come super close, shorty hot, super hot. My jewelry cold, but it's the summer. We're from the plane, straight to the boss. It's Friday night, get you and your friends. Smoke a few splits till the party begins. Best believe it, she a treat, she can't even get in. Cause me, J, Troy, and Marcus only running with 10. She a baddie, yeah. Tryna get out of here. Got a black queen, dark skin, light skin. Better than some, you just ain't like it. Far west side for the weekend. All night in the car with some weekends. From the baddie, I can lead a club with. I've been touching love.
Es viernes, mami. Mire cómo bailan por ahí. Ellas bailan tan sexy. Hágale pa' abajo, baby. Para, baby. Ellas andan por aquí buscando alguien que les dé un ya por el rato. Bailando la noche sin cuidado. Estamos calentando, estamos calentando. Ella quiere andar así gozando. Yo estoy aquí con mis hermanos y mujeres lindas todo el rato. Este ron directo tira para abajo. Mírela ahí. Baila por aquí. Pégale, mami. J, Troy, hit it with that beat.
She a baddie, yeah. Tryna get out of here. Got a black queen, dark skin, light skin.
paid, so I'm out for the night. Might take your girl, I'm a thief for the night. Sipping on Henny Pie, switch it to the light. Blame it on amigos. Shorty freaking, I love the way that she deep out. When we link, we gon' make a movie Regals. Little mama bad, had I tell all of my people. On the island with a bad little mommy, got a bad right beside me. Shorty, she try and ride me like a coaster. We in the spot, getting lit, we don't post up. I go hard in the pain when we post up. All those dimes, ass change in my sofa. She
So move on you want, but please don't break it. Her body then goes boom. Sit it right here, let me calibrate it. See what goes up got to come down.
Madness. Peganta. Manhattan's finest. Dyke City. Vivo una vida nocturna, soy guerrero, vengo de la jungla, donde la boca tuya te puede mandar una tumba. El dinero multiplico, se divide cuando suma. Las balas te traspasan, te pone a bailar cumbia. Joseo día y noche porque eso como un deporte. Controlo el sur entero, pero yo vengo del norte. No me cabe más sello adentro de mi pasaporte. Y yo vengo de la vieja, me importa de nuevo Chapa en blue. Con una Kim Kardashian, con el cuerpo de Jackie y el culo de Sensensana. Le doy un paseíto adentro y ya te la Habana. Le pongo mi collar, el limón verde, la bandana. De ese dinero, cadena brilla, se me lubre el cuello. Me acuerdo menorcito que lo veía en mi sueño. Ahora camino con jefe Omega, yo soy el dueño. El que venga con falacia en su música lo prendo. Importancia, mucho falso, mantengo distancia. No acepto vagamundería de ninguna circunstancia. Traficando los papos, sí, acción de gracia. Las percos se mueven solas, tengo recetas de no tienen un bote. Y hablando de que son los bichotes. No me pongo camisa si no viene de Dolce. Tengo los tigres en para, soy su nuevo sofoque. Estamos ratando tigres como pibo en alofoque. Subiendo rango, dando la para en mi city. En mi city. Lo pero caro en mi DM y hablan de mí. Yeah. En el banco tengo su sueldo, tobilla a mí. Póngase Torres, una línea, todo contra mí. Yeah. Subiendo rango, dando la para en mi city. Yeah. Lo pero caro en mi DM y hablan de mí. Yeah. En el banco tengo su sueldo, tobilla a mí. Yeah. Póngase Torres, una línea, todo contra mí. Yeah.
Rest in peace, 30. I told you this one's for you, right? Esto es para todos los tigres que siguen divariando.
Padrín.
En la discoteca estamos fumando. Agarra la botella que yo voy a coger Osare, pa' arriba, pa' abajo. Son mujeres mías y no te pones guapo. En el bolsillo mío si yo tengo cuarto. Agárrate un vaso, pa' arriba, pa' abajo, pa' ciento, pa' dentro, pa' ciento, pa' dentro, pa' arriba, pa' abajo.
City the king, I stand tall and them bow. Step in the spot, bring a whole cloud. Them say you gotta pay to play, I'm like how? And I'm too lit, I can't walk through the crowd. Rolling up sticky, tugs them with me. And I know she riding with us if she picky. Don't get silly, these gal them tricky. She a busybody even though her face pretty.
Estamos en el club y yo estoy desacatado. Cualquiera que se pase yo lo tengo en mi lado. Smoking too much loud, this shit got me on the cloud. Ya le gusta agresivo, ya le gusta el papao. I give it down, Julio, that shit make a bend down. Estamos prendidos, baby, que no se te olvide. Con ese culazo cualquiera te persigue. Pásale la juca, te doy lo que tú pides.
En la discoteca estamos fumando. Agarra la botella que yo voy a coger Osare, pa' arriba, pa' abajo. Son mujeres mías y no te pones guapo. En el bolsillo mío si yo tengo cuarto. Agárrate un vaso, pa' arriba, pa' abajo, pa' ciento, pa' dentro, pa' ciento, pa' dentro, pa' arriba, pa' abajo.
Bust it open like a B-Day. Run, punch, slap, show your titties on the freeway. I'm a L off the yacht, ain't no delay. You fuck me for an hour, I'll bring it back to BK. Fresh up out the shower, she gon' treat me like Enrique. Follow IG, you can see too many siga. Your ex, he soft like Mongol. Roki, don't eat no food. What the fuck he gon' do? Velvet blue, I pour in the pool. Champagne showers, I pour all on you. Slide in the coupe, I got it for two. I wake up with bitches, I don't got a clue.
En la discoteca estamos fumando. Agarra la botella que yo voy a coger Osare, pa' arriba, pa' abajo. Son mujeres mías y no te pones guapo. En el bolsillo mío si yo tengo cuarto. Agárrate un vaso, pa' arriba, pa' abajo, pa' ciento, pa' dentro, pa' ciento, pa' dentro, pa' arriba, pa' abajo.
Na 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 yeah. Na 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 yeah. He wanna take me on a ride around town. He said he feeling my Caribbean style. He like the vibe, wanna get to know me. He wanna fuck with a Latina from Queens. I can tell that he like it, picante. Quiere comerme toda. So we turn up. He like the way I'm on my hips, beady, beady, bum, bum. I'm so hot, I make him burn up. Él me invitó a bailar y yo le dije, cuidado, no te vaya a quemar. Me dijo que le gusta picante, que tenía hambre y ganas de cenar. And boy, you fine, so I know you got options. She kinda spicy, but I'm hotter. So baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. I know what you like. He like that. He wanna take me on a ride around town.
verte. Ya me cansé de tus reproches que hacen daño.
Te salió mal el papel de infiel y ahora vienes otra vez. Decirme que quieres volver.
Todo lo que dices es pura mentira, mentira. Se acabó el amor, todo fue fantasía, fantasía. Ya no quiero volver a tocar tu piel. Vete, largo, ya no soy masoquista. Ajá.
No, ya no me muestres tu carita de yo no fui. Desde que te fuiste, soy muy feliz. Ya no me llames, ya no me busques. Ya no tengo nada que me preocupe. Ya no jodas más, porque yo no voy a estar. Hoy salgo a parrandear y con mis panas a gozar. Ya no jodas más, porque yo no voy a estar. Hoy salgo a parrandear y con mis panas a gozar.
Todo lo que dices es pura mentira, mentira. Se acabó el amor, todo fue fantasía, fantasía. Ya no quiero volver a tocar tu piel. Vete, largo, ya no soy masoquista. Ajá.
No.
No quiero volver a verte. Ya me cansé de tus reproches que hacen daño.
Te salió mal el papel de infiel y ahora vienes otra vez. Decirme que quieres volver.
Todo lo que dices es pura mentira, mentira. Se acabó el amor, todo fue fantasía, fantasía. Ya no quiero volver a tocar tu piel. Vete, largo, ya no soy masoquista. Ajá.
No, ya no jodas más, porque yo no voy a estar. Hoy salgo a parrandear y con mis panas a gozar. Ya no jodas más, porque yo no voy a estar. Hoy salgo a parrandear y con mis panas a gozar. Dímelo, Kobe. Esto suena riquísimo, amigo. ¿Cómo?
W, aún ya, pero lloró.
Bien, Pin Vázquez.
Oye, Hermes.
Esto es sabor. Alexander Millán y Colombia. Wow,
DJ Funny Show.
sabrosura.
Big sense. Dios. We go. I told you. Estamos en fiesta, estamos en party. I like the way you moving your body. Vamos a beber, vamos a gozar, vamos a bailar. Estamos en fiesta, estamos en party. I like the way you moving your body. Vamos a beber, vamos a gozar, vamos a bailar. Yeah. Qué linda, más pero qué linda. Me gusta toda tu energía y cómo tú la brindas. Me gusta que eres del Cibao y parece una gringa. Y ese culo grande como brinca, que brinca. Dale espacio, ahora síguele, ahora dame paso. Que llegó tu tigre, tíralo para atrás, como si fuera para atrás. Si tiendo a tu cuerpo me convierto en un animal. And she be like, dale, dale. And I be like, toma, toma. She asking me if I got it. And I can tell her that she really want it. Que esta fiesta no pare, que llegan los anormales. Se juntan los que trabajan y los de calle. Y todos vinimos a gozar ese detalle. La calle se activa, toda ready para el guaye. Dale, dale. And I be like, toma, toma. She asking me if I got it. And I can tell her that she really want it. Que esta fiesta no pare. Estamos en party. I like the way you moving your body. Vamos a beber, vamos a gozar, vamos a bailar. Estamos en fiesta, estamos en party. I like the way you moving your body. Vamos a beber, vamos a gozar, vamos a bailar.
I said, get lean, ma. You're my dream girl, ma. Got me thinking about 69, but not no rainbow, ma. You hit my line, drop of a dime, came through flying, that's every time. I don't play about mine.
That's on my mom. If you ever left, I die sudden death. Mean each word with every breath. I swear I love you sex. Yes. Told me, homie said he want you back, but it's your rep. I thought you told him you would crack. Girl, don't make me hurt your ex. Live from the 215, my baby girl smile, brighten up the light of the sky. And every time I feel down, she come around and pick my spirit up high. Sometimes I just stare in her eyes, thinking there is a
guy. Y tú sabes que te quiero a toa. Esta atracción pertenece en el manicomio. Por ti sabes que desafío al demonio. Sin ti mi primavera se vuelve en otoño. Y por eso tienes que entender que soy tu lobo y tú mi loba. Que yo te voy a comer a toa. Que esta noche no se acabe, no. Y por eso tienes que entender que soy tu lobo y tú mi loba. Que yo te voy a comer a toa. Que esta noche no se acabe, no. Estamos en party, I like the way you're moving your body. Vamos a beber, vamos a gozar, vamos a bailar. Estamos en fiesta, estamos en party, I like the way you're moving your body. Vamos a beber, vamos a gozar, vamos a bailar. Estamos en fiesta, estamos en party, I like the way you're moving your body. Vamos a beber, vamos a gozar, vamos a bailar. Estamos en fiesta, estamos en party. I like the way you're moving your body. Vamos a beber, vamos a gozar, vamos a bailar. Toma, perreo, perreo, toma, toma, perreo, perreo, quiere toma, toma, perreo, perreo, toma, toma, perreo, perreo, toma, toma, perreo, perreo, toma, toma, perreo, perreo, quiere toma, toma, perreo, perreo, toma, toma, perreo, perreo.
Speedy baby.
Yeah, as I sit and reminisce, think about the sexy mommies that your boy's trying to kiss. Like J-Lo whenever she dances. I love a Puerto Rican princess like Jocelyn Hernandez. Give me Zoe Saldana and Rosie in a blender. Mix them together, get the star, I think I call her Brenda. Trust it, I'm about to holler at Carmen Luvana. After that I'm bagging Victoria Justice. Yeah, it started out as a leak, then it became a stream flowing out Rosario Dawson's Creek. Off the we think it's cinema, movies, sipping Matas, whether it's Goya or India. I love a mommy on fire, minus the lighter, so I'm out to Exotica for a rider. Sheena, who's sticking fly like Justina Machado. See me, I need me an AOC. Chula.
Solamente quiero que sepas que tú eres una reina como quiera. No me importa de dónde vengas, porque todos los días yo te digo que eres una diosa, diosa, that is what I call you. Diosa, diosa, there's no one above you. And I just want the people to see what I mean, so I put you on a pedestal so everyone can see that you're a god.
She got a body, yaddy, 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 yaddy. Puerto Rican, think mommy from the Bronx, oh Johnny. I'm just kicking game to Erica Mena, even if I have to sin with Dominicans. All I need is una, whether it's Dasha Polanco or Cat DeLuna. Mira, flipping through Max and Mag, I saw a Puerto Rican goddess named Jasmine Loren. It might sound foul, but if I trump that, shooting my shot, I don't need no paper towels. Jasmine said, Ray, hold it down. For Puerto Ricans all around, time to switch your sound. I'm in the class, name with the rest. Bodega Bams, Nicky Jam, now I'm named with the best. Yeah, what don't you get? I'm Puerto Rican to the reign of Puerto Rican left, right.
Solamente quiero que sepas que tú eres una reina como quiera. No me importa de dónde vengas, porque todos los días yo te digo que eres una diosa, diosa, that is what I call you. Diosa, diosa, there's no one above you. And I just want the people to see what I mean, so I put you on a pedestal so everyone can see that you're a god. Solamente quiero que sepas que tú eres una reina como quiera. No me importa de dónde vengas, porque todos los días yo te digo que eres una diosa, diosa, that is what I call you. Diosa, diosa, there's no one above you. And I just want the people to see what I mean, so I put you on a pedestal so everyone can see that you're a goddess.
Me gusta beber y me gusta rumbear. ¿Te gustó? ¿Pero te gustó? 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 ¿Te gustó? ¿Pero te gustó?
Que me gusta beber, que me gusta rumbear, que no le digo a nadie a la hora de llegar. Te dejo en vista a veces por el celular, que yo soy el final pero te gustó. Que me comentan mucho por el Instagram, que mi boca y mi cuerpo me lo comerán. Que lo tengo en la frente, muchos pensarán, pero esta mami chula no le llegará. Aunque sea mala, aunque sea fría, aunque me vaya y regrese al otro día. Aunque sea mala, aunque sea fría, aunque me vaya y regrese al otro día.
¿Te gustó? 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 ¿Te gustó?
Deja el show y cálmate, que si yo quiero te llevo pa' la cabaña. Deja el show y cálmate, que si yo quiero te llevo pa' la cabaña. Aunque sea mala, aunque sea fría, aunque me vaya y regrese al otro día. Aunque sea mala, aunque sea fría, aunque me vaya y regrese al otro día.
¿Te gustó? 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 ¿Te gustó?
Hackeando tu sistema auditivo, tú sabes, con las hackers. Gerald, la melodía produciendo. Bimenca el lirical. Área 809. El maestro Rudy Rudísimo. Julio Abreu. Edilio, el de los contactos. Tú sabes.
It's Erica. Major way. Get him. He got the bad bitch bop. See it in the rotten, kinda heavy in the cut. Hold on. He got the bad bitch bop. Drink with his pinky up, yeah, go pop. Hold on. He got the bad bitch bop. Hold on. He got the bad bitch bop. Hold on. He got the bad bitch bop. Drink with his pinky up, yeah, go pop. Hey pop, I'm loving the way you moving, the way you lick your lips, got the motive to pursue it. We can get into it in the back of the Buick, the Benz or the action, on trucks I dispatch it. Grinding with the passion, stack like Kardashian. Mad they started first, but I dashed them and passed them.
eyes lock across the room. We already tryna dip. Niggas stay hollering at me, talking about I'm the one trying to plant on his seeds. Triple platinum's what I'm trying to achieve, and me and Durgan #1 soon as we step on the scene. Like, let's talk about my versatility, agility. The way they try to keep up, these niggas steady killing me. Your bars is mediocre and your tone is no delivery. I'm coming at you crazy before you can ever send for me. Hands on my hips while I'm throwing it back, feel like an attack. I talk cause I got it like that, you feel me? In climax, we headed straight to the top. Yeah, I see you, little man, with your bad bitch vibe. Yeah.
He got the bad bitch bop. See it in the front, kinda heavy in the top. Hold on, hold on. He got the bad bitch bop. Drink with his pinky up, yeah, go pop. Hold on, hold on. He got the bad bitch bop. Hold on, hold on. He got the bad bitch bop. Hold on, hold on. He got the bad bitch bop. Drink with his pinky up, yeah, go pop. He got the bad bitch bop. Hold on. He got the bad bitch bop. Hold on. Let's get him.
Hey everybody, I'm George Torres, the Urban Jibaro, and you're tuned in to the Rawrrzone.
From olive colored skin to chocolate brown, lipsticks and lip gloss should be color rich, long lasting, bold and luscious. Bold and Luscious Cosmetics. Find them at balcosmetics.com. Complete with vitamin E, lanolin, and antioxidants, Bold and Luscious gives you soft, moisturized lips all day. Reds, nudes, pinks, darks, bright. balcosmetics.com. balcosmetics.com.
Snap, we're back. This is Welcome to the Rawrrzone. I am your host, Ivy, Katie, whatever moniker you call me by. I thank you for being here. Whew. It is, once again, a beautiful Rawrrzone day. You could catch us everywhere, www.rawrzonenyc.com. Of course, you could catch us at our home of Elegant Sound Radio, Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You could catch us in Ohio on Pulso 82.3 FM every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to Promo God. She syndicates our show to 130 different countries. I've only been to like one, but it's okay. I'm gonna go to the other 129 one day soon. But shout out to them, artists. If you want to have your music spun and be able to actually get paid royalties for it, ask her how that's possible if you're not. But of course, hit her up for her knowledge and her packages today. And of course, we in Michigan on damn it, computer. We are in Michigan Sundays, 6 to 8 p.m. on Platinum Radio Online. Shout out to Bruce and the entire team. Whew. So, of course, you could catch us on What's SmackDown on SmackDown, courtesy of Ramble Mania Show, while myself and TJ the Great, the 13th-time Ramble Mania World Heavyweight Champion, break down the good, the bad, the ugly. We already saw how The Rock came back and whooped Austin Theory's ass, but he's going to one day do it again for Roman Reigns at Mania 40. Let's see what happens when this week's episode drops on YouTube. Whew. We are on the road to the Give Back for Sean. We finally secured our date and our location. You can catch us in Astoria, Queens, giving back to the Sarcoma Foundation of America at Catch Astoria. The lineup and the performances will be dropped within the next couple of days. We do want to thank everyone that's involved so far. DJ Ace of Spades, Krista B from Hot 97. More details are going to drop soon. But like we say, we always try to find more awareness for sarcoma because of Sean Seguid, who passed away from intimal sarcoma at the age of 30. He was advocating for it the last year and a half of his life, and we've been trying to do our best to keep his memory alive through philanthropic efforts and working with the Sarcoma Foundation of America. But I'm running out of breath right now to do all these goddamn intros and sponsorings. But so today's interview is special. We are in Hispanic Heritage Month, and I would be remiss if I didn't pay homage to people that helped pave my career, and they've been such prominent figures in the industry, cultivating Latin culture and integrating it in many different ways through different avenues. This person I met when I had to have been 21 years old, and I had to ask someone I met named Jasmine Clemente, beautiful singer, artist, with a heart of gold. If I could act as her photographer for her publication, because I wanted to go to this gentleman's event. And mind you, I'm scared shitless of scary movies, but I still wanted to go because they had the Annabelle doll. And it was an event put specifically through his marketing efforts and with Warner Brothers. So I said I was the photographer, and I'm probably just outing myself years later, but it's okay because he's come to love me for the goofball that I am, anyways. But a little bit about this person, George the Urban Jibaro Torres, and I'm just gonna take this from his Talento Unlimited bio because it actually just describes him to a T, or at least in 30 seconds or less. Um, George is an award winning bilingual social media and cultural consultant who, in the late 90s, captured the attention on the internet with his personal mission statement of connecting Latinos to their culture. Having been raised alternatively between New York and Puerto Rico, he is a living embodiment of the New Yorican experience, earning him the name Urban Jibaro. Catch him creating content for brands from finance to grooming. I now welcome the man, the myth, the legend, coming from Brooklyn, Mr. Capicu himself, George Torres.
What's up?
Yo, I'm still really mad that it took you 2 seconds to make that background.
Yeah, I mean, I'm using my other laptop, and I just realized I didn't have it set up for StreamYard, so I just jumped on Discord real quick on what is it? Midjourney,
Discord,
and
this
just created a podcast studio real quick.
you got the nice coloring and everything. Me,
I
I had
wanted
to.
to I wanted to match the aesthetic of the Rawrrzone.
I was actually so surprised because I just honestly made this makeshift one because I have my dog sleeping in the other room. Um, and if I decided to podcast in there, he's gonna try to be all up in my space.
Got it,
But
got it.
yeah, but how you been? It's been
I'm
a long
good.
time since I saw you.
I'm good, and first of all, thank you for having me in the Rawrrzone. I'm excited about reaching so many more people that normally don't get a chance to interact with me. But it's funny that you mentioned the Annabelle event because something really interesting happened 2 days ago. Two
What?
days ago, yesterday, 2 days ago on Friday. Um, I was with Tony Plana. Tony Plana played the priest in Annabelle,
Yeah,
and he was present at that event.
yeah.
And I attended a Latino luncheon at the Metropolitan Club here in New York, and Tony Plana was sitting right next to me in the next table, and he gave me a big hug and was like, "Wow, I haven't seen you in a long time." And now I just really realized that it was 9 years ago to almost to the day.
I
It was
know.
actually like Thursday would have been exactly 9 years since that event.
That's really crazy to think of how much time has passed. And then I saw him on like other shows, like he was on like an episode of Law and Order Organized Crime, and he did amazing in that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but to see, and it's still weird to be like, you were part of that at one point.
Yeah, yeah. So that particular project came from a friend of mine, Isaac Cuevas, who worked for a film house in LA that specifically worked with spiritual movies. So that wasn't just a regular screening. It wasn't just a regular event. What we did was we had a couple of events that led up to the actual screening, and one of the events was having a panel of spiritual healers and other spiritual like priest, a rabbi, a bruja, and we had all these people have a intelligent conversation about the existence of evil. And for that particular event, my friend Mia Roman actually created an altar, a Cuban altar, Cuban, Puerto Rican, Caribbean.
And
She
she did
created an
the exit.
altar for authenticity in the event. So it was a really dope event. It was one of the highlights of my career, actually. To work with Warner Brothers on such a big project was pretty amazing.
So to go back on that, because you were talking about the altar, there was someone doing something with eggs. What?
Yeah, so that was somebody that we hired. They came from Cuba, from Havana, and they were a spiritual santero. Was it a santero? I want to say it was a santero, but I may be slightly wrong. There's a lot of different branches of the spiritual realm in the Caribbean, but this was somebody who worked with santeria or palo or something of that nature. So they actually did demonstrations. They talked a little bit about the altar. It was a very multi-dimensional event, specifically, and we got a chance to work with them on multiple projects. The one that you came to, was it the Annabelle one or was it the Conjuring?
It was the Annabelle one because Edwin was there, Cynthia was there, Mia was
Yes,
there.
that's so funny. Yes, 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 yes. That's when I had my radio show back in the days. Awesome. Yeah, it was a good time, but it was 9 years ago. Because specifically, like I said, I was working with Tony Plana because he was the star of that particular. So it was cool. It was a cool event.
So, for those that don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I my name is George Torres. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and one of the things about me is that I'm very passionate about Latino culture, and I really hated the fact that our stories weren't fully documented in the media, in film, in books, in curriculum. So I created a website in 1997 called sofritoforyoursoul.com. And it was my way of actually creating something collaborative where people could actually join in and share their stories, their recipes, their poetry, etc. I'm very big on cultural cultivation, so and community building around the arts. So that's what I did with Sofrito for the most part.
So, being that you look to create a bridge for Latinos and their culture, and especially in New York City, what was it like growing up in the 80s and the 90s, where one, you were going from living in Puerto Rico to living in the United States, as well as like the way they treated minorities back in the 80s, 90s was definitely different. So um how has how is the differences that you've seen different to for the treatment of Latinos different from then and now?
So to be fair, I grew up in East New York, Brooklyn in the 80s. It was a very racially charged time. As a matter of fact, the reason why I even have a website is because I myself was a victim of a racial incident that happened in 1986. That incident, the name of the incident is the Latino Howard Beach incident. The Latino Howard Beach incident was what they called it on the news. But the reason why they called it the Latino Howard Beach incident was because the same night, not very far from where we were attacked, me and my Dominican friend Rafael Gonzalez, not far from where we were attacked, a young black man named Michael Griffith lost his life. He was chased by a angry white mob that was beating him up for no other reason other than the fact that he was black, and he ran into traffic on Cross Bay Boulevard and died quickly after that. So because these two incidents happened so closely, we ended up in the same hospital. The cops thought it was the same incident or the same people. It wasn't. There were a lot of racists at the time wandering the streets of New York and Queens specifically. So the news just kind of coined it the Latino Howard Beach incident, but ours happened in Ozone Park. Actually, it was a couple of like a mile or two away. And yeah, so that's that incident actually changed my life because I grew up in a place where black and brown were very tight. I'm obviously white passing, so I have blue eyes. I don't even look like I'm Latino, but because of the way we were dressed, we were targeted. Because if you looked at the way we were dressed, you could quickly tell that we were not from that neighborhood. It was a very interesting situation, but as a result of the aftermath of it, I ended up connecting with some really cool community folks that actually came to assist us in getting justice. And as a result of that, I got mentored by some of the greatest civil rights movement minds in our community, including people from the Black Panthers and the Young Lords. Al Sharpton was our representation in the beginning, but because there was an imbalance of media coverage towards the Latino aspect of it, we ended up we ended up moving on to another team of people. The people from the National Congress of Puerto Rican Rights took our case shortly after, and it was just because there was an invisibility thing. It was like, obviously Michael Griffith was killed, and we needed to support him in getting justice in that way. But there was still another story that needed to be told, and we felt that the National Congress would be the right organization to help us, voice that side of the story.
Yeah. How do you feel like we've progressed from those times?
I don't. We definitely have progressed, but I think we progressed because there's a lot more. There's a lot more of our stories being told. There's not many, and there's definitely not commensurate with the amount of people that exist of Latino descent in the country. But we do have some more prominence. There are many organizations that have completely dedicated themselves to telling our stories and making sure that we get credit for the things that we brought to this country. A country that technically is half Latino anyway, by default, by moving borders. So I think that it's different. Are there still a lot of issues? Yes, there's a lot of issues politically. We're dealing with systematic racism in a lot of ways. So those systems haven't yet been completely dismantled, but our culture is a lot more accepted across the board. Obviously, pop culture and media, and there are films that are coming out that are not being coined as Latino films per se, but they're stories. They're, in some cases, great American dream stories of our perspective of what the American dream could have been for us. So it's shifting. It's shifting. I think that we're in the middle of a great shift right now.
So before we get into you being part of that big shift, because you've done a lot, what was it like? You talked about being in East New York and how that affected you, but how different was it being able to live both in Puerto Rico and the United States? Like, so much differences in between.
Yeah, it was different. My dad and my mom split, so I spent a lot of time kind of traveling back and forth. Two different worlds, 100%. In Puerto Rico, I lived in a middle class neighborhood. I went to a Catholic public school. Not a lot of street activity, not a lot of gang violence, none of that stuff really in Puerto Rico. But back in Brooklyn, it was a whole different story. So in some cases, I would come back to Puerto Rico and tell people stories from what stuff that happened to me in Brooklyn, and they just didn't even believe it. It sounded like a movie to them because they didn't have that experience, and it was completely different. What I liked about my experience in Puerto Rico was I have a deep working knowledge of, one, what it feels like to be part of Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico has its own systematic racism from the U.S. government towards Puerto Rico and their policies. But I got a deep understanding of the culture. I have a deep understanding of the political history of Puerto Rico. So now when I advocate from a position of, I'm not just your average Nuyorican. Yes, I'm a Nuyorican. I was born in Brooklyn and raised in Puerto Rico, but I was raised in Puerto Rico. So I do understand a lot of that position as well. Whereas some people that I know from New York that were born and raised in New York don't have that perspective. So I feel like that was a big plus for me.
What do you feel like so if I was a Puerto Rican from New York, what would my perception be of Puerto Rico if I haven't been there?
Exactly what my name is. I'm an urban Jibaro, right? I'm an urban Jibaro because I'm a juxtaposition of two different worlds, right? Urban, being from New York and being streetwise and whatever, and Jibaro because the word Jibaro actually used to be intended as kind of like disrespect. It used to be like you're a hick, like you're somebody from the sticks, like you're a farmer. And for me, understanding the history of Puerto Rico and understanding the position of the Jibaro within our historical canon, I honor that. And I felt like there's something that I wanted to take on. It was something that one of my mentors, Richie Perez from the Young Lords, he's something that he used to call me. He called me an urban Jibaro. He's like, you're the best of both worlds. And I've kind of embraced that. So instead of actually taking it as a diss, I actually embraced it and then kind of redefined what a Jibaro is. And if you look today, if you look in a lot of the cultural circles of people who are doing things in the Puerto Rican community, the Jibaro is actually a source of pride. I would like to think that I was one of the first people to really kind of push it in that direction.
I think you are the first person to really push all of that, and because you made what could be one of the first blogs in 1997 when, once again, not talking to age, but that's when the internet really just came out. Roadrunner, dial up, everything was innovating, and you're already here pretty much doing what I'm doing now, and you're bringing a whole group of people who don't know their culture, to become more rooted within it and to embrace it in a society and in a time where one being a minority was not really welcomed. Um, Going back to the daily sofrito, what was the biggest challenge for you while doing all of that?
The biggest challenge, hands down, was the technology, because everything that you're able to do today used to cost a lot of money and you had to have access, right? I started the website because I took a HTML class in college at SUNY College at Old Westbury, and I had access to resources that most people, as a matter of fact, when the blog started, most people didn't even have a computer. Most people couldn't use a computer unless they went to a cafe and rented one, or went to Kinko's and rented one. So there was no access. So the people who actually followed us in the very beginning were either college students or there were professionals that had access to the internet at their job, because computers were still in the $5, $6, $7,000 range. So it wasn't easy to be online at the time. And yeah, so coding was a big thing. I remember a good friend of mine, Dora Abreu, her and I used to share. She was a coder. She's somebody who works in IT today, and me and her used to email code back to just get little things to work on the website, just like have a logo that flipped around, or to have a scrolling a guest book or anything like that. We used to have to like really find people that either made the code already and then copy it and just edit it for our purposes, or we had like big exchanges. But Dora was the one that helped me write a lot of the code for the first website. There was no Photoshop, was really out of like Photoshop. I didn't start using Photoshop probably until like third year doing the website. So we didn't have access to graphic tools. So we had to either steal graphics, edit graphics, or hand draw them and digitize them. It was just really tough. It was really tough at the time to create. The website was completely hand coded. So everything, the way the website looked and everything was pure HTML. There was no Dreamweaver or any applications that could actually draw the code for us. So that was the biggest challenge, was the technology. And I'm always in amazement of how much things have changed, where, I could have done what I did on the internet with $20,000-$30,000 worth of equipment. I could do today on my cell phone with little or no effort at all. Even you having a podcast. I mean, everything that you use for your podcast used to cost in excess of $150,000. You couldn't create a studio in your home for less than $150,000. So technology is was the biggest obstacle, and it was also the biggest win, because despite all of that, we made it through. When I started the website, a lot of people don't know this, but we had a lot of firsts. We were one of the first Latino websites to have their own email, branded email. So if you were one of my viewers, one of my subscribers, you can come in there and you would actually have like the Rawrrzone at sofritoforyoursoul.com email. And we provided that completely for free based on advertising. We also had, we partnered with a company called Bright House really early in the 2000s. And we syndicated one of the first music TV channels on the internet. It was called Barrio 305. And it was an experiment. It was an experiment, and it played all the reggaeton videos, all the playero videos back in the days. But one of the things that it did eventually was Brightco became this really, really big technology company. Like, it wasn't because of the programming that they made it big. They made it big because they figured out how to get video across most devices. So they became a huge company. Bachelor 305 died after that, but I remember that it was that Latino project that made Brightcove millions of dollars, like just because they figured out how to create video or how to transmit video on a really old Windows device. Then there's a website called latinflavor.com. Latinflavor.com was like the first YouTube. Like, you know, like all these websites that were coming up after me, like they were all doing things that they were doing new things that eventually some other company ended up becoming really big doing.
And doing it.
Latinflavor.com was like before any of the what's her name, Little Judy and lamusica.com. LaMusica.com was a website that competed with me in a sense of like putting out Latino content and music and all that kind of stuff, talking about music. But one of the things that La Musica did really well was they had the right editors, they had the right writers, they had the right video when video was available. And they eventually sold the website to one of the biggest radio station conglomerates in the country. And today it still exists. LaMusica.com is still a website. And Little Judy was one of the first people to exit, meaning exit her business with a multi-million-dollar deal. The only thing about Little Judy was that Little Judy wasn't Latina; she was Italian.
Oh wow!
So yeah, but she is well respected in Latino circles. Everything she did was from the heart, and she, in my eyes, she's an icon. She's somebody who I look up to immensely.
Has it always been media for you, or was there always something else you had in mind to do?
No, you know what? Growing up, when you talk, I grew up during the time that hip hop was in its early stages, right? Yeah. I tried every single aspect of hip hop, and where I landed was graffiti. I really loved graphics. I really loved design, art and design. So graffiti led me to designing stuff on the internet with Photoshop and Illustrator. And then I started the website, and then the website really put me in a different place because people considered me a cultural curator. I had the people from the Nassau County Museum of Art reach out to me and say, hey, you seem to have the attention of these people on the internet. You know, can you bring a busload of people to this event where we're going to like display Diego Rivera and Frida Kahlo paintings? So when that started happening, when people started looking at me more as a media personality, I started understanding a little bit more about that role, and I kind of liked it. And eventually my business became a marketing business as opposed to just a website because of the fact that other businesses and other websites were actually coming to me for redesigns. They were coming to me for me to make their website more colorful. Some companies like mijente.com, called Community Connect, was a company that had 3 different websites. They had a website called Mi Gente, which was Latino based. They had Asian Avenue, and they had Black Planet. Black Planet is still around today. Black Planet is owned by Radio One, if I'm not mistaken. They were bought by a radio station as well. And this website was owned by Asians. All 3 of the websites were owned by Asians, and they were looking for Latino writers. So I became a bridge to find poets, writers, other content creators to bring over to Mi Gente, and I even ghostwrited for Mi Gente for a little while. So I made a lot of money just becoming a content creator early in the game. I'm talking about 2001, 2002, I was already monetized. So it took 4 years in a time where there was nothing to build up to a monetizable property.
It's so amazing to have seen like some of the like achievements you've done with so little. But you did something else, and you gave back to the community. You created a home for everyone that wasn't a hip hop artist, but they had their own type of bars. They had their poetry. I was very blessed to be able to take photos there. But because also when I did my research, you said Capicu was one of your greatest like achievements to date. So tell us more about Capicu and working with Papo.
So Capicu is a 16-year-old at this point. It'll be 17 soon. It's a 16-year-old poetry project that was created to combat the gentrification that was happening in Bushwick, Brooklyn, or in Brooklyn in general. But we landed in Bushwick, Brooklyn. We had somebody reach out to my business partner, who has been my business partner for now 17 years. Me and him used to have conversations on mijente.com, and we used to talk about what it would look like if Latinos had a middle class. We talked about how to empower people in the community. And some dude that used to be a hustler around the way, he had a little bar out in Bushwick, and he reached Williamsburg actually, and he reached out to us, and he was like, "Hey, you guys want to do something here?" He gave us the space for free, and he said, "Do whatever you want as long as it brings people from our community to the space." So we started Capicu Cultural Poetry Showcase was the original name. Now it's called Capicu Culture, but we started this poetry event. The first night, we had people that showed up early say, "I don't even know why you guys are doing this, because there's already a New Yorican, and this has never been done in Brooklyn before. Nobody really wants this here. Like, I don't, they were kind of hating on us." We ended up with over 200 people in the venue that night. We even had camera crews. We had TV news. Like, it was a big deal. And we don't even know how it happened, but it happened. And from that point on, we kept it pushing. That particular bar wasn't the right venue for us at the time. So we ended up moving a couple of blocks away on Union Avenue, right off of Broadway. It's Bushwick / Williamsburg, depends on who you ask. We ended up at a bar called Notice Lounge. And we stayed there for a good 14 years. The club evolved multiple times during our tenure there. And the more time passed, the owner, Jason Tennant, created a space for us to be able to thrive. He actually made a lot of changes to the venue in order to make it more palatable, or to make it more accessible or more welcoming to our community. Eventually, it was no longer a club. He opened up a pizzeria in the front, a craft pizza spot, and made it a speakeasy. So you had to actually walk through a freezer to get into the back room to do poetry and whatnot. And it was just a beautiful experience. We did a Capicu subway series where we went from borough to borough. We did award-winning workshops and shows in different universities. So Capicu was a big deal. It was a big deal, continues to be a big deal. And as we're talking right now, me and my partner Papo, Juan Santiago, we've been talking about how we're going to bring Capicu back, not only within our community where we were before, but also how we could kind of rekindle the virtual part of it. Something that we were doing way before the pandemic. We were doing a lot of online open mics and things of that nature. So we think it's time to bring that back.
So, being that it is Hispanic Heritage Month and Capicu is actually a game, can you tell us a little bit about the actual Capicu game?
So Capicu is not a game. Capicu is the war cry, if you will, when you win the game. And you have to win the game in a very specific way in order to say Capicu.
Okay.
So Capicu is a game of dominoes. When you play dominoes in the Caribbean format, right? When you play dominoes, it's a numbers game, right? You match up numbers to each other, and you kind of work your dominoes across the board. In order for you to say Capicu, it has to be locking the game. You have to lock the game where nobody else can go anymore. That's when you scream Capicu. In Haiti, for example, they say decabez, right? So you basically take the chip, the domino, and you slam it on the table and you say Capicu. And then how you do it and the style that you do it and how loud you are, that's all subjective, but that's the energy. Like, you literally slamming the domino on the table. If you ever watched any old movies from California circa 70s, 80s, in the black community, they'll just say bones and they'll throw it on, they call dominoes bones in California. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways, a lot of different versions of it, but the Caribbean, the Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban way is Capicu, or Capicua, you may hear some people say. But that's what you do. You just basically scream and you slam the domino on the table, and that's it. You lock the game, and you find out who else or how many points you have by basically how many chips are left on the table.
What has working with Sofrito for Your Soul and Capicu taught you from working with all these different types of people from all different walks of life?
First of all, that our community doesn't even have an idea of how beautiful and deep and wide we can go with our stories. Like, as much work as we do and as many talented people as we encountered over the last couple of years, it's not even scraping the surface. I know people who literally are writing masterpieces and they're just too shy to share. And what we try to do is be the safest space in the community to share. Because even though there's a lot of people that go to New Yorican, the New Yorican is a place where people, it's like the Apollo, right? It's like where people go to, like, they really want to make it and they want to, like, take their career to the next level. We created a space that was safe enough for the average person to go up there and spit a poem. And that was a big accomplishment. And that was an accomplishment, honestly, that we happened on by accident. We didn't even know. That wasn't even an intention, is to create that kind of space. In a sense, we created a space that people can come together, but we didn't know that we were, like, literally developing poets. We were developing talent. We were developing DJs. We were developing all different types of talent that was coming to the event to share their expertise. To the point where at some point, I want to say like maybe 7-8 years ago, we started something called La Sopa, which is the School of Poetic Arts. And that was our kind of our pipeline to take some of those people that performed at Capicu for the first time and bring them over so that they could actually start developing their craft and actually be accomplish what they want to accomplish in the community.
Well, we talked about how you pushed through, on a professional level and you made a difference for so many people, but clearly we all go through our own things. From up until the point we talked about, what was life for the urban Jibaro when he wasn't out there?
So in 2010, I found myself battling a fatal case of pneumonia, and I was as public and as active as I was in the community. I literally fell off the face of the earth, and battled this pneumonia for 2 months, to the point where they told my family that I wouldn't make it. And that was really hard for me. That was hard for me because the whole time I was gone, the community was really, really responsive. They were really in tune, and they reached out, and they made me feel loved. And I just never knew that many people were watching me. And I think that was like a big catalyst for me in my career, because I just didn't realize how deep what we were doing in Brooklyn and what I was doing on the website really touched people. So that was like a big pivot, and I think that once I came out of that, no matter how big the stuff I was doing before that was, everything that I did after 2010 was just bigger by default. I went on to help develop production values for a major Latino conference. After founding, before the 2010, I actually helped found a Latino organization that was the first of its kind. And then the second organization that I joined after 2010 was a evolved version of that. And we went on to do amazing things. To this day, some of the stuff that we did was historical. Myself and Papo both got nationally recognized as leaders in the community. We've received multiple citations from the local government and some of our elected officials. But at the end of the day, the only thing that really mattered was how the people responded to having a space in the community that they could actually voice their opinion. They could have conversations. They could voice their frustration. They could, just love and be loved. And I think that's the biggest accomplishment of all of this, right? And today it's like, we've been inactive since the pandemic. I mean, we did a couple of virtual shows here and there and whatever, but people still are waiting for Capicu to reemerge and to
come back.
Yeah, that's what it's been. The conversation has been, especially this last year, has been like really, really. There's a lot of interest in having us come back, and people are offering us space. But one of the biggest dilemmas that we have is that since we had a space for so long, the terms of how we use the space and how much access we have is based on financials, right? And because of the pandemic, a lot of businesses lost a lot of money and they're not willing to give space up as freely as they used to. So that's something that we're battling right now. So we're in the process of talking to a couple of organizations about possible funding, nonprofit funding, and grants and things of that nature. And then also, there's a possibility that we may be somewhere in the same neighborhood where we were before, with a whole new situation. So we're hoping that it pops off soon.
Hashtag bring Capicu back.
Bring Capicu back. I hear you. I'm with you.
So, whatever happened to the Sofrito for Your Soul website?
So the website, we were celebrating our 25th anniversary last year, and I branded a beautiful Puerto Rican Day Parade float as we always do. But we had a special anniversary edition of the float this year with Capicu, and during that time, we had several hack attempts in the previous months, and I've kind of fended them all off. But during our 25th anniversary, the website was completely taken down, and I had to quarantine the server in order for it not to spread malicious code. But I still wanted to kind of rescue the archives, so I quarantined it, meaning I took it completely offline. So there's a local version of it existing on a computer that's right here on my floor behind my desk. And what I've been doing is I've been extracting the text only versions of some of the best content, and I'm trying to clean it up so I could actually repost it on a new website that's called Daily Sofrito. So Daily Sofrito is the reimagination of what the original website was. It's a little bit more brief and like the other website was really long form, and there was a lot of heavy content because it was a blog when blogs were popular. But today, since everybody has like micro attention spans, we've condensed some of the content, and we just relaunched it like 2 weeks ago. We have a music person. We have Ruby, who's doing music, Ruby Chavez. We have some financial folks coming on to be able to do financial literacy. All the artwork is AI generated for the most part, unless it's original artwork from artists themselves. So yeah, we do the thumbnails and everything on the website. We're using AI. And I'll be putting out some business curriculum for small businesses, some free game for some small businesses that are looking to really extend their brands and be competitive in the marketplace. So it's a new, different version of the website. We're still looking for contributors. So if anybody out here is a poet, writer, chef, anything, short stories, whatever you want, just send it our way. As long as it's family friendly, we're good to go. We just don't do the politics stuff.
I don't blame you. Shit, I lost my train of thought for a minute. My apologies. Before we get into all your work with marketing, because I've seen your page on Talento Unlimited. I've been looking at what you've been doing now with the Siembra Academy, but I would be remiss to not bring up also your work bridging Latino professionals together with Hispanicized.
Yeah.
You were heavily involved in that. You were in charge of the New York, I guess you want to call it a sector division. What was that like?
So New York was just there was an experiment in New York, but I basically produced for the main conference in Miami. Hispanicized was the South by Southwest, if you will, for Latinos. Had a great 12-year run. I think I was there for 10 out of the 12. The company eventually got sold to NGL Collective, which is a company that's partly owned by John Leguizamo, and they have recently just merged with Me Too. So they're part of the Me Too network now. That was a great ride. That was literally another one of the big highlights of my career, because I got a chance to produce $1 million projects, for brands. I got a chance to use that grassroots stuff that I learned from the streets, from Capicu, from having Sofrito so many years, and I was able to bring a lot of people who are literally like people who followed me in terms of like content creation and creating their platforms for their particular niche. And I got a chance to help them not only perfect their craft, I got a chance to help them get funding in some cases, or even connect with brands so that they can get brand deals. So that work has continued as a result of the sale of Hispanicize. Obviously, I'm no longer involved in Hispanicize as a company, but my former business partner from Hispanicize, one of the founders, Christy Clavijo, became my manager after the Hispanicize deal went through. And shortly after that, we ended up with a big contract to help health and hospitals with the COVID campaign, where I once again battled for my life under similar circumstances that I did in 2010. And when it happened, it was crazy because I signed a contract to be the spokesperson for the COVID campaign in New York, and I ended up getting sick the day I signed the contract. So what ends up happening is I tell the client, hey, listen, I'm literally in the program that you want me to do the commercial for, and I'm battling for my own life. We ended up having a conversation about what the campaign would look like, and obviously me thinking, okay, I'm not going to even make it out of this. Like, everybody was dying at the time during this period of COVID. This was like October of 2020. And basically we convinced the clients to invest a couple of more dollars and actually me reach out to some people that I know within the media community and social media and arts and entertainment. And what we did was we ended up creating a bigger campaign, and I helped run that from my hospital bed. But I tapped my manager, Christy, to help with the logistics of it, right? Because I'm in the hospital and I'm not able to fully do everything that I need to do to make this happen. So what ends up happening is we have a completely successful campaign. It featured people like Fat Joe, Luis Guzman, Casper Martinez, Nancy Ruffin, who else? Leora Luciano, Led Black from Uptown Collective. I mean, so many names, right? And they all helped out with the campaign. And we ended up winning a Telly Award for it. And as a result of that, it started a conversation between me and my manager about becoming partners. So shortly after the campaign closed and I obviously survived, we ended up becoming partners in a company that she founded with her best friend, Michelle, called Talento Unlimited. So I kind of went from being talent on the roster to being one of the managing partners.
Being part of Talento Unlimited, how do you feel being able to shape now after doing the most innovative things for your brand, making differences between cities, countries? Because you are also a flight attendant, so you probably did some things all around the world too, but you just haven't brought them up. Now you're sitting here and you're helping the future of talent, the future of entertainment, and
Yep.
at a time where everything is also at a standstill with the SAG-AFTRA strikes and everything that's going on in the industry. How did it feel to get to mold all of them?
It's and I can't take credit for molding them. That's a big responsibility. But what our agency does do is we create opportunities for content creators to monetize, to expand the reach of their brand, to have somebody in their corner to make sure that their rights are looked after. A lot of the stuff that you see with the strike going on right now with the writer's strike, right? The truth of the matter is some brands don't want to pay a lot of money. And when they think that you're a social media celebrity as opposed to a real celebrity that has some other type of platform, they try to undercut and they try to take advantage of certain aspects of the business, like digital assignment of rights and syndication of some of the content. Some people want like absolute rights forever for a campaign that they're paying very little for. So we get a chance to really kind of push the envelope with that, and we have been very successful at actually elevating women creators, and women of color specifically. So that's something that I know Christy and Michelle take a lot of pride in, and when I joined the team, that's something that I hope to build on even further. It's been a great experience working with them. It's not like we're strangers. I worked with Christy for 12 years before that, with her actually helping me every step of the way in my career. So it was a natural progression, and I just feel very happy to be part of it in the sense of being able to share some of my unique experiences in the business and being able to leverage that for better outcomes for other creators.
On a personal level, how do you, to every business thing I've seen you do, and the same thing goes for Chrissy, right? Because Chrissy taught me how to make my first brochures, like as far as like holiday guides and how to do it before Illustrator, well, before I even knew what the hell Illustrator was. How did you guys always stay disgustingly optimistic through everything? Like you never frowned. You never seemed stressed to me. How the hell do you do that?
You know, it's gratitude, right? At the end of the day, it's gratitude. I find myself in a very, very unique position to be able to do things the way I want, how I want. As an entrepreneur, I've had multiple businesses. I still own multiple businesses. I I'm so grateful that I get to do what I want to do, and even when things are bad, they're better than they were. I grew up in a community that was very disenfranchised. I dropped out of high school, um, and then again dropped out of college once I got into college. But I still became successful, and I became successful because I created things that I didn't have access to. When I wanted to be a radio personality, when I decided that radio and podcasting was the thing I wanted to do, I didn't have a background in audio engineering. I didn't have a background in broadcasting, so I created my own show, and it was the first Latino show on Blog Talk Radio. And I did that because I was like, well, I could learn the technical stuff, and if I'm my own boss, then I'm the only person I need to please. And I just created it. We created an open mic. We created our radio show. We created a school for poetic arts. Like we just keep creating. We keep creating the things that we're missing, and that maybe other more reputable organizations won't give us access to. So we create our own thing. And as long as I'm able to do that, and as long as I'm able to have the drive to do that, and as long as I'm able to have the resources and the supporters to like ride along with me, there's nothing to frown about. I'm just happy. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to do what I do and love it, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
So you did mention, while you're loving everything you do, you did go through your health issues, and you did also, cause 9 years ago when I first met you, you didn't have the skinny. You lost a lot of weight. You look healthier.
Yeah,
How
I
important was self care with your journey so far?
literally it was probably the most important thing. The only reason why I'm here today is because that first health scare in 2010 made me make some really serious life choices to change how I was living. And if it hadn't been for those changes, I probably wouldn't have made it through COVID, honestly. Excuse me. I was almost 385 pounds at my biggest. Today I'm standing here at about 235 roughly, and I'm still overweight. And my according to my doctor and the people who create the standards of life, I guess, according to them, I'm morbidly obese still at 235. So it continues to be a process. I approached it differently than most people. I didn't do surgery. I wanted to do it naturally. I did it naturally, but I didn't do it to lose weight. I did it so I could have stamina. I did it so I could be healthier, so I could be more comfortable in my own skin, and I accomplished that. So even at 235, even though my doctor tells me I'm still morbidly obese, I feel good about myself. I'm able to run. I'm able to walk. I'm able to jet ski, parasail, ride a bike. I'm able to do all the things that I did at 25, and I'm still 25, right?
You're still 25. What you mean?
Exactly. So I approach life in a way where like my gratitude guides me and my drive keeps me young. I just want to keep doing things, and I just don't have a concept of what my age is. I don't have a concept of what my perfect weight is. I just want to be comfortable. I just want to be happy. And as long as I'm happy, then I'm good.
Well, it got me really curious, right? Because you did tell me a few things and that was just within talking the last couple of days that helped me with this show, right? You started putting a Instagram broadcast out, which helps creatives work through their podcast and small businesses. You also have the Siembra Academy, where you talk about marketing for sure. But you also have a framework that you talk about, the AAA framework.
Yes.
Can you go and tell us about a little bit about what you are trying to help with and what is this framework?
So this is like a step before Talento, but after my career. I wanted to teach people about how to monetize and how to navigate the media landscape as a business, right?
Yeah.
So during the pandemic, when everybody was losing their job and people were calling me asking me if I knew of any positions open, if I needed remote workers.
I did ask indeed.
Yes, you did. Um, I created a cohort. I created a Facebook group called the Siembra Initiative. It wasn't even the Siembra Academy. It was Siembra Initiative. And eventually, over the course of a year, I ended up with 240 students in there that I gave 100% free training to. I helped them build their brands. I helped them with website resources. I helped them with language. I helped them with sales techniques. I helped them on how to negotiate deals and brand deals for their podcasts, for example. I basically shared everything I've ever learned in a space. Whatever I didn't learn, whatever I didn't know, I would find friends to come in and do guest speaking opportunities so that they could help my group out with their stuff. I paused the Facebook group after 2 years, and 241 at the final count of folks were in the group. And I decided to reinvent Siembra Academy into something different. Still working on it because obviously the pandemic still has some ripples in the landscape, right? So I'm figuring it out. But what I have been doing is I've spoken at a lot of universities. I've done a lot of virtual class visits. I've taught at Columbia University in terms of like their professional staff at Teachers College. Not bad for a 2-time dropout, right? And we continue to just create curriculum. And I've done it in a very disorganized way, and I'm kind of like trying to funnel it into one thing. So an attempt on that was to create a broadcast channel on my Instagram where I could just grab a couple of people similar to what I did on Facebook, but just kind of give them a little bit of motivation every day. Just tell them, just kind of get their spirits up, and then be able to stop procrastinating and just go after it, right? To go after the thing that they want to do the most. So that's what we're like literally a week, or maybe not even a weekend. We have about 87 members already. So that happened pretty quickly.
Yay!
And what we're doing is we're going over the framework. The framework is called Audit, Align, and Amplify. And basically it's like literally the 3 steps that you have to do, and then just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So audit is obviously you finding out what your resources are and how they could help you get to your objective. Aligning is making sure that everything matches and everything that you have online actually serves a purpose, and it goes to a particular location that's going to obviously generate revenue, abundance, or support for your cause. And then amplify is just how you're going to grow after that. So those are the 3 main pillars, if you will, of my teaching method. And it's a course that I've taught many times over the last 2 or 3 years. And now I'm making it available for free to get people interested in actually using the framework to get to a certain point, so then we could take them to the next level.
What is a common mistake that podcasters, creatives, small businesses make when making the framework of their brand?
Focusing on the wrong things, focusing on things like numbers, focusing on vanity metrics, things that just don't matter. There's a saying out there in the marketing world that if you have 100 real fans, you'll never go broke, right? Those 100 people, if they actually support you, if they actually pull out their wallets and support you, you never go broke. It may not be 100 today because with inflation and whatnot, it may be more like 1,000.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that are focused on having followers and they want to get their numbers and they want to get to 10,000 followers on Instagram so they can have a swipe up feature. All these really crazy, ridiculous things that people actually focus on. And the truth of the matter is that some of those folks have 100 or 200 people that follow them hardcore and they don't even speak to them because they're always chasing after the numbers. They're chasing after what it could be, right? It's 2 of 50. I want it to be 300. If it's 300, I want it to be 1,000. If it's 1,000, I want it to be 10,000. So they neglect the people that are actually there, and it hurts their brand. It hurts their brand at the end of the day. There's no other way for me to say it. You could see it when people jump on live, right? They jump on live. What's the first thing that comes out of their mouth? Instead of thanking the people that showed up, instead of actually having the conversation that they came to have, what are they saying? They're saying, let's just wait a couple of more minutes for more people to arrive. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse, but fuck those people.
Go for it.
They're
Don't
not
worry.
there. They're not there. They didn't show up on time. Talk to the people that showed up on time. If there are other people come in, and if you need to go back and recap something, then recap it. But that's one of my biggest pet peeves is that people focus on the people who haven't showed up instead of the people who have.
Me, like, I'm glad I don't do it live anymore because I used to do Rawrrzone live when I was like at DTF, and working with them because it was a radio station and it was just like, okay, you might as well be live. When I had my old co-host and his schedule conflicted, turning to pre-record kind of just made it better because if anything, I can interact with my fans while the post is up. That way, I'm not sitting here like a dumbass trying to have the conversation, manage the social media, manage a photographer if I have like an in guest. And it's a lot, especially if you're running it on your own.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. That's why a big pillar of the Siembra Academy is AI, right? We talked about it earlier in the broadcast. AI for me is big because AI allows people like you that have a very small team that are trying to multitask, that are trying to cover different aspects of the business, and it just gives them a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more breathing room. One of the things about Siembra Academy is I'm really big on mental health. I'm really big on entrepreneurs having healthy, like, mental hygiene, like for them to be able to tackle the things that they really need to tackle to be successful in the media business.
Yes.
So it's important for me to actually really have that conversation repeatedly. Like, mental health is important. Mental health is important. But how do you get mental health? It's getting time back in your plate. Like, you're having more time to do the things that you love that are not related to your business, to do the things that you need to do for your business. You need time. And I think AI, if it's done right, and if it's done to deal with some of those repetitive tasks that you have to do on a regular basis, then I think it's a good thing. You know, are there concerns? Are there ethical concerns? Yeah, absolutely. Are people going to use it for evil? Absolutely. It's going to happen. There's no, I can give you a hammer. You can either build a house or you could crack somebody over the head. Like, it's your choice. But the way that we teach AI within the Siembra Academy is for people to actually be able to enhance their personal living situation by taking some of the stuff off their plate. And that's how I position it. And the truth of the matter is, everybody that says, oh, the AIs, they're going to take our jobs or whatever, not at all. Not at all. I don't believe that. I think that people who do it really well are going to be very well employed and well compensated. And the people who don't, well, it's that simple. There's a lot of things in the world that people, electricity disrupted the candle market. Up until the electricity existed, everybody used candles, and everybody said electricity is going to disrupt, it's going to destroy. Electricity has created more jobs in history than anything else. Everything around you is electronic in some way, shape, or form, and it requires some form of electricity, some form of power, right?
Yeah.
Are there more jobs because of it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's people who create the products. There are people who have to fix the products. There are people who have to sell and market the products. And there's people who profit from selling it. Like, it's created, it's been revolutionary. And that's it. AI is going to be similar. Like I said, are there ethics? Are there things that we have to watch for? Are there privacy things that we need to look out for? Do we need to look out for the artists that are being ripped off from AI? Absolutely. But it's not going to stop just because we don't like it. Like nobody's gonna really sit there and say, okay, well, I'm not gonna do it. The people who don't do it are not gonna progress. It's that simple.
So I have two more questions for you. Yeah, I know, because I went over my time that I said in that breakdown. So my bad.
Okay.
Um,
If you need to edit, edit. It's all good.
but for I asked this when I did a segment during the Puerto Rican festival, not the festival, the parade in June, right? I asked everyone, what was your favorite thing about Puerto Rican culture? What is your favorite thing about Puerto Rican culture?
I just love that we exist despite the fact that the world hasn't been kind to us in so many different ways. The political situation in Puerto Rico is strong, and it's remnants from a colonial era that's outdated, that nobody else in the world recognizes anymore. And they continuously uh, do everything that they can to evict us from the island so that they could have their crypto paradise and their surfing havens and all the things, but they don't realize that they're displacing the people who made it what it is. So I love Puerto Rico because we're survivors and we're going to continue to adapt, and we figured out ways to continuously keep our culture alive despite the fact that we have so many opponents to it. Um, my people are dope. It's that simple. My people are dope. We continuously make waves around the world. Right now, there's a kid. I really want to plug this kid. His name is Jacob. He's
Okay.
literally the only Puerto Rican figure skater that I know of. He's a kid. He's a teenager, and he's in Budapest today, right now. He just literally just skated and ranked top 5, and this kid is about to be an Olympian, and it's happening in real time right now. He's a Puerto Rican kid. He's supported by some of the biggest skaters in the industry that are literally donating to his team to make sure that this kid continuously gets to all these countries to be able to compete. That's dope.
That's
That's
amazing.
dope. This kid is not even like 15 years old, and he's already traveled 23, 25 countries across the world competing. Like, that's the kind of stuff my people do. That's why we dope.
Yeah, super dope.
You're honorary Puerto Rican. You're down with us.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all got the best food.
Facts.
I can't help it. And the better music. And now they finally integrated like in media. Like I really feel like it was like Cardi that really started and J Balvin. Cause J Balvin did that remix with Beyonce, and then ever since then you got the Cardis coming in with the Bad Bunnies and doing all their thing in the United States.
Nah, I'll be honest with you. Puerto Ricans have been doing that for decades. El Gran Combo, we had Menudo, the biggest boy band of all time, was Puerto Rican. Ricky Martin, the biggest soloist that come from a boy band of all times. We had Edie Chacon, was J Lo 20 years, 30 years before J Lo was a thing. You got like this is cyclical. We've always been that. Rita Moreno, EGOT. You get what I'm saying? Like we've been doing this. We've been doing this. The thing is that now the stories are being told. Now we're getting amplified. We were in that stage of audit, align. So the
Yeah.
last 20, 30 years we've been aligning. Now we're amplifying. And that's the difference right now. That's the difference. That's the reason why there is a Bad Bunny. There's a Bad Bunny now because there was a Menudo, because there was a Ricky Martin, because there was a Fat Joe, because there was a Jennifer Lopez. That's why.
I'm just very blessed to see it happen. I always like worked in the clubs. Like most of my career like was spent like yeah, I work with hip hop artists now and I work like take pictures and everything, but my career just even learning music in general started working in the clubs and listening to all the Latino music, working with Angelique and doing the Latin trends events with Gilberto Santa Rosa, and you become so familiarized. And then on top of that, when I was a history major in college, I just loved learning about the Latino culture. It's something that just never got enough credit for their beauty, just for their countries in general.
Shout out to Angelique. I gotta tell a story about her real quick. I know we're way over time.
It's
But
perfectly fine.
Angelique was the first website to come and give me access to a news feed, a script that would live on my page. It was a company she was working for at the time, which was owned by the original owner of Hispanicize. So this is how far back we're going. We went back to
We're talking about Manny.
We're talking about Manny.
Okay.
The owner of Hispanicize used to own a company called the Latin Newswire or something. Latino Newswire, whatever it was. He sold that company to create Hispanicize. But Angelique worked for him. She was the first one to give me an official news feed on my site, and she also helped facilitate our first brand deal at Radio Capicu with a company called VTech that had a Wi-Fi radio specifically that would be able to air live podcasts from Live 365. So it was dope. She's dope. She's dope.
She's such an amazing soul, and I would never she gave me her first PR textbook, and I still have it preserved because I don't want to ruin it.
That's dope. Yeah, she's good people. I have to reach out to her because I gotta tell her that I still love her.
She's living her best life in Puerto Rico, looking like a model.
Of
Now
course.
she looks 25. She does.
Yes, absolutely.
My last question, and it'll probably just tie everything together. We talked about culture. We talked about where you come from. I've come to see the way you're rooted in your culture. I'm rooted like that in Greek culture. I very much cherish my culture, even though I'm not out there rah, because it's not enough really much of a market for a Greek girl to go rah in New York City. A spade is a spade.
I'm sure there is, but okay.
The story is very small. I go rah down the block, and then that's the only other radio station. I like doing my rah with the hip hop community and everything else. It's fun.
Okay.
It's that music. So but I've come to notice that the older generations, they're not rooted in their culture. This is a two-part question. How can we get them rooted into the culture, and what is the importance of knowing where you come from?
They both tie in. They both tie in together, right? Knowing where you come from gives you a sense of pride. It gives you an opportunity to look back and see progress more than anything. And I think that that's really big for people who have historically been disenfranchised, is for us to see that we're getting somewhere. As far as the people, I'm not sure if you wanted to know about younger people or older people. Older people, I think, are very deeply rooted in their culture. I think the younger people are experimenting, right? The truth of the matter is that we have conversations today about being Black, Latino, etc. Those conversations aren't going to be relevant in 50 years because everybody's mixing, everybody's multicultural. So we're in a place right now, again, we're in that space of a pivot. We're shifting, and we're shifting from becoming people who are very niche in terms of their culture. I'm Puerto Rican, I'm Caribbean, I'm Black, I'm Asian, to being people who just are going to be able to select the parts of culture, of world culture that they identify with, and be able to just promote that. So this conversation is very limited. If you talk to me 20 years, 30 years from now, the things that I'm talking about today won't even make sense to a lot of people, honestly. Just like some of the things I talk to you about today doesn't make sense to a lot of you because you people are much younger. And you weren't around in the 80s. So it's a progression. So yeah, again, the ability to look back and be able to see progress is probably the biggest thing, the biggest gift that we can get from this moment.
So I feel like this interview is gonna need a part 2.
It might. But don't have it too long. Like I said, don't wait too long because, like I said, the world is changing.
I got
some of this stuff might not be relevant, in 10 years, 20 years.
I mean, listen, we're not going to wait 10 years, hopefully not, before we speak to each other and see each other again.
Absolutely not. You're going to come to Capicu soon. I'm making it happen.
I definitely will. I'll be the first one there. But what is next for you, and where can they find you?
You can find me at dailysofrito.com. That's the new website. I'm, like I said, slowly but surely getting more content up on the page and disinfecting some of the old content for people to have historical context, because it feels weird to talk about being part of the first Latino website and then looking and seeing only 2 weeks worth of archives. So, I have to do my best to get some of the historical stuff up. At Urban Jibaro on all platforms, for the most part, Instagram and Twitter Twitter was my favorite, but Twitter's, so Instagram and Threads are where you can find me the most active right now. And again, if you're interested in any of the channels that I have on my Instagram account, the Love and Sofrito one is specifically for the blog, and the Siembra Academy is the one for small businesses looking to amplify their brands.
I'm in it.
Yep. I got something dropping tomorrow. Really nice for you guys.
Yay!
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. For real.
Thank you for being here with me. Thank you, Rawrrzone family. It's been an amazing episode. We hope you enjoyed the mix that heard before this. As usual, you can tune in Mondays, www.rawrzonegyc.com. Tuesdays on Elegant Sound Radio on the Live 365 app and on our website. Get that over there. Sorry, too many. Jesus Christ. Wednesdays, you can catch us on Pulso 82.3 FM in Ohio, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, of course, Sundays on Platinum Radio Online via the Live 365 app and www.platinumradioonline.com. Catch us talking smack on SmackDown with myself and TJ the Great One. From myself and the Urban Jibaro himself, we would bid y'all a good night and a good fight and sleep tight.